Welcome to the Filmistines, the podcast where we discuss all things movies. Join us as we dive deep into the latest releases, revisit classic films, and explore the art of cinema. Whether you're a film fanatic or just love a good flick, we've got you covered. From Hollywood blockbusters to indie gems, we'll be breaking down the storytelling, the cinematography, and everything in between. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready for some cinematic magic. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to our Patreon. We offer tiers at the $1, $5, and $20 level, where the $20 tier will grant the ability to request films for future episodes. Every little bit counts. This is the Filmistines, where movies are more than just entertainment, they're an experience.
They're an experience.
All around you. Well, come back to the Filmistines. We have a super special episode today. It is the first highly fan-requested film that we've received here on our little corner of podcast land. The Exorcism of Emily Rose. If you'd like us to watch your requested film and analyze it, review it, talk shit about it, please go and subscribe to our Patreon.
Yes.
At the $20 level, the $5 level, or the $1 level.
Perfect.
They're all good levels, and soon to be a custom level. Whatever you feel like throwing our way, that would be much appreciated because we want to keep making videos.
That's true.
So we have a special episode today, and it is another horror movie.
Yeah, what are we going to cover in Halloween when we run
Christmas
out of
movies.
these? Oh, Christmas movies, of
Just-
course.
We're gonna,
Let's just skip Halloween.
we're gonna be out. We're gonna cover the new Insidious and some others. The new
Yeah, are there...
The
I'm
new
sure
Exorcist,
there's enough.
I think, comes out later this year.
Oh, that's right.
Things like that. So, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, a 2005, only with a budget of $19 million, made $145 million, which
Wow.
is kind of crazy, actually.
It's impressive.
It's pretty impressive for a horror movie. It's always impressive to see that almost times 10, money's made over budget.
Yeah.
And anything, but especially horror. I feel like horror gets shafted. But a quintessential early 2000s horror film. Did you see this when it first released?
No, I saw this for the first time a few days ago.
A few days ago. It's a classic. A lot of people look at it as a classic horror film.
Okay. I've
seen it before. This is probably my fourth or fifth time seeing it.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you weren't scared like I was?
No. It was actually pretty familiar. When I started watching it, I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, it was all coming back to me.
Yeah.
I had forgotten how many times I've maybe seen this. I will say off the top, it's not very good.
Okay. All right.
It's very mid-2000s,
Yes.
which is a weird time for horror. And it's got that soap opera-y thing that a lot of horror adopted in the early 2000s that just sucks, for example. Or, for example, as far as character-wise. Erin Berner sucks. I know she's like the mom in Ozarks or whatever. She's
the mom in Ozarks?
Have you seen Ozarks?
I've seen
Some of it?
like the first 10 episodes maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen quite a
That's
actually
her?
more than 10 episodes. Oh, okay.
So she's, this film did not hurt her future, obviously. Ozarks is arguably the biggest Netflix show.
Yeah.
So.
I put meh on performance next to her name.
You did?
Yeah.
I think she was the weakest performance, and she was kind of the star of the show.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks as far as, just entertainment. But she was consistent, I will say, in what she was delivering. So that's a thing.
That's not...
I was many times more interested in the other lawyer.
Dude, for real.
He knew his shit.
Yes.
Know?
Ethan Thomas, I think that was his name.
I thought it was weird that they felt the need to... She didn't get into it really, but I'm agnostic, so I don't really know thing was like mega cringe.
Okay.
When she was talking to the priest, I think. Or was she talking to her firm partner at that point? I think it was the priest.
Yeah, the priest.
In the prison, right?
Yes.
When she was in that just... Her deliveries are just... not all over the place. She's consistent, like I said, but she's just... She sucks. I would not want her as my lawyer. I'd want the other guy for sure.
Yeah, me too.
He was a fucking monster. The priest was decent. He wasn't nearly as good as the Pope's exorcist priest. He wasn't nearly as smart. Wasn't nearly as charming. Wasn't nearly as funny.
Yep. I don't care if he got committed or not.
No.
Or...
I did like his angle of being like, I need to tell Emily's story. That's cool. That's fun. But it's, didn't add up too much. Those are my initial thoughts that come to mind right away. What do you tell me something?
Yeah. With Erin Brunner, the lawyer, I wrote meh to her performance. Priest, I wrote okay performance. And then Emily Rose, I was like, dang, that was good. What she did was good. Although I don't know her actress name.
I think her name's Jennifer Carpenter.
Okay. She is in White Chicks.
I did not know that.
So I had just the smidgest time just kind of not trying to reflect on that she's, just, I don't know. I like that movie. And she's funny in that movie. She's the one that's like all concerned about her body and how she's getting big, and she like squeezes her tummy, and she's like Tina the talking tummy, and very, very funny. So that's where I know her from. So maybe I should learn to like kind of take actors out of where I know them from.
Well, it's part of the actor's job is to, trick you into making you believe there's someone else.
Yeah, well, maybe Emily Rose would have been a little bit creepier and scarier if I wasn't imagining White Chicks.
That's true. You're hitting on the most important part of this movie. That's the most important fault of this movie is we need more Emily.
Yes.
But
that's not what the movie was about, though.
Well, the priest could have fooled me. Seemed like that's all the priests care about. So you'd think we would have that audience kind of in to know a little bit more than even the court case knows. The courtroom knows. It made me think of course, the Santa Claus movie.
Yeah.
Miracle on 34th Street. Where I kind of wish we got Emily's whole story, or a big portion of it, like in the first hour. And then the next hour was kind of a sped up court case. Instead of Emily getting chopped up in between. And then no fucking time on Erin's getting invaded by the demons.
If she would have been better, then I'm all for that. If Erin would have been better, or if the demon would have tortured her a little more like it did Emily, then I would have been all for that. But I like that they told us in the very beginning that she died, that Emily died. You don't get a lot of that. You don't get a lot of knowing who the serial killer is in the beginning, or knowing that this person died from something, or, knowing the big reveal of the big secret. Do they die? Do they not? In the beginning. So I kind of like that this movie did that. It made it stand out a little bit in my mind. And definitely being a trial for a priest on performing an exorcism. I mean, come on. How many of those do we get?
Yeah, and then trying to defend it.
And I like that the court case was very, I don't want to say believable. I haven't been part of many court cases, so I don't know. But I like that it definitely wasn't on the priest's side the whole time or all against him. Like, you would hear the priest say something and you're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And then you hear the, what are they called? The opposing people. And they say something. It's like, oh, well, shit. Yeah, that makes sense too.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because it kind of starts to build the case for, they obviously built this movie around the court case. It wasn't to show Emily's story, it was to show the trial. Right. So that's an important point. That's pretty obvious. And it's kind of funny because they had to, the best way for the movie to defend the priest's side was to show us. And they could show us, but they couldn't show the court. Mm-hmm. Right. So that's how we were able to go back and forth, because I'm 100% certain that court was 100% of the time on the opposing side.
I don't know, man. Like, maybe it's just me, but when they brought that expert girl, I don't remember her name, and she was talking about how the drug had blocked her something in her brain, and that's what made her whatever. Emily was hypersensitive. And if I would have been in the courtroom, I would have been like, huh, this This girl's got a point.
She must be Sagittarius.
And then, come on, they brought in those pictures of Emily. How she looks possessed.
She did look possessed. That's why we never put on a jury. She's possessed. I could tell from the pictures.
For real.
No, it's a good point. I did like that girl, the lady that they brought in for to defend the academic side of, exorcisms and the spiritual world within cultures. I did like her. I wish we could have got more of her. The other academic that I did not like, though, was their cowardly kind of, testimony they were going to have that ended up dying.
Oh, that was awesome.
That was fun. Him dying, but he's only in it for maybe 3 minutes total?
Yeah.
4 minutes, 5 minutes maybe, max. His performance is probably the worst out of everyone's performance. He just...
Yeah, it wouldn't have helped
sucked.
their case.
I don't think Erin sucked. I just didn't like her way of going about doing things, She was very soap opera-y feeling. That doesn't help with the soap opera-y haze that comes with early 2000 films, especially early 2000 horror. I hate that. You know what I'm talking about? Can you see that?
Yeah.
It's almost like this vignette is around everything. This little hazy vignette.
Yeah.
And I just fucking hate it. And it's a very 2000s thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think his name is Dr. Cartwright.
Dr. Cartwright. He sucked. But his death was fun.
Yeah. I mean, if was it all worth it because of that death? I think so.
Oh, this movie's definitely worth a watch. Is that what you mean? Is that what you just meant by that?
His performance.
His performance. Movie. Oh, yeah. 5 minutes for that death. That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Emily, though, was the mega star of the show. She's double jointed, apparently, in every joint in her body. That's all real effects.
I'm getting goosebumps right now.
She may have the face of a 35-year-old woman when she's actually supposed to be 19, but she can deliver on being possessed.
She looked creepy.
Yeah, she did a good job.
She was creepy.
She did an excellent job.
She did an excellent job.
Not quite on the same level as Ellie from Evil Dead Rise. Not that she's supposed to be on that level anyways, but she definitely is a one to, put in the books being like, this is good inspiration.
Yes.
If you're looking to, reenact or act out what a possession might look like and stuff. And so she did excellent. I just wish we could have got more of her. I almost wish it was more of a traditional horror possession movie. Because of Jennifer Carpenter. I can't believe you don't know where she's from, do you? Like, where she's, famously from?
Not White Chicks?
No. She's the sister in Dexter. The show Dexter.
I've never seen Dexter.
Okay, that's fine. But it's just so funny that White Chicks
comes to mind.
That's so funny. Yeah, she's the sister in Dexter, and eventually Dexter's love interest. Unconfirmed, I don't know.
Wait,
Unconfirmed, I don't know. Yeah.
Dexter's sister?
Oh, yeah.
Is his love interest.
It's spicy over there.
Wow. I might need to watch Dexter.
They're not actually related.
Oh. That doesn't
Dexter,
make it better.
She was adopted or Dexter was adopted. But, yeah. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Maybe that's just the vibes I was getting. I don't know. It's been so long since I've seen Dexter. Yeah. Dexter season 1 through 3 or 4. Very good. After that,
you watched them?
Really bad. Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen almost all of Dexter.
Yeah. I might need to give
when it became stupid, I'm quick to jump out.
That's true.
I'm not gonna watch. I don't have the time. I'd rather be on my phone scrolling TikTok than watching nonsense.
That's all right. You heard it.
Yeah. So this movie's not terrible. If I gave it that impression at first, this movie's definitely.
You did.
It's not very good. I don't think. I think it's definitely a product of the time. That a time that I really have a hard time getting behind. There's a few exceptions of American movies of that time that get past my ughness of it, and that's I can only think of one at the top of my head, and that's The Ring. The Ring's cool. The first Ring only, and then some of that loses me too, especially when Naomi Watts goes to the island and stuff, and it just I don't like that direction. But so this director,
which director?
The Exorcism of Emily Rose director Scott Derrickson, sort of famous. He would go on to direct Sinister, definitely a favorite.
Sinister is after Emily Rose, right?
Yeah.
Way after.
2012, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He would go on to direct, and then Doctor Strange, the first one, which is kind of weird.
Oh.
And then The Black Phone recently, which was okay.
That was okay. That's cool. Sinister's cool.
Sinister is, I think, in the top echelon of horror films.
Yeah.
That's cool. I think a lot of people would put The Exorcism of Emily Rose in that too. People are really high on Emily Rose because of the court case and because of Jennifer's performance. And
so just because of the, originality of...
The originality, yeah.
Presenting this kind of exorcism.
And I think part of it's probably maybe the roots coming from reality. There's a real Emily Rose type character. Her name's not Emily Rose.
They're all based off of true stories.
Yeah, so maybe maybe that doesn't verify the fame there.
But I like this movie. What would I give it? I don't know, but
a thumbs up?
Yeah, I'd give it a thumbs up.
Is it in the better top half of horror movies we've seen?
I don't know.
It's hard to say.
Yeah,
I try to make you... What do you say?
They're all jumbled in my head.
Oh, sorry about that. I try to limit bad horror in your life because there's more. It's kind of like comedy, like there's so many similarities between comedy and horror. There's so much bad horror out there that I just can't. I try not to let you get into
You
that
realize I've watched all the horror movies I know in the past 3 years.
Good.
So they're all jumbled in my head. No, that's not good. They're all confused in there. Bunny Man's like possessed now.
Bunny Man is possessed.
Over there chilling out with, corpses. I don't know. There's a zombie somewhere in there. So I have, you say Sinister, and then I have to tell myself that's the one with the red monster face. But then it's like, wait, no, that's not that one. It's the other one. That's Insidious. I gotta get them straight in there.
Hopefully us talking about them in this level will help straighten them out. That's funny stuff. Yeah, I've been spending, 28 years of my life getting this stuff straight.
Yeah,
so.
You've got it down for sure. But I liked Emily's performance, I'm sure everybody did. She looked creepy as fuck. There were several scenes that I don't know if they were supposed to get me, but they got me.
Which ones?
So definitely the one where she first gets possessed in her dorm room. That one was just kind of on the creepier side. Didn't totally get me. But then when she went to take her test or whatever classroom, and that boy looked at her and his eyes started inking and just... It got me, man. I'm telling you, faces just creep me out. Like, I'm getting sick to my stomach.
What about when she was
now.
in front of the big cross and she looked over at those old ladies?
Oh my God, that got me. The people under the umbrella. The old ladies got me the worst.
Yeah.
And then when they were in the dorm room, I guess after her boyfriend had just taken her back to her room, and I guess he stayed the night with her.
Yeah.
And then he woke up, and then she's like all contorted on the floor, like all fucking weird and shit. And he's like screaming, "How are you not running out of there? How are you still with her? I mean, come on."
I would have left her ass.
I would have left so fast. And she's just like staring at him with like big black eyes and like upside down and on the floor, and her hands should not be. And it's just so creepy. It's creepy.
Did that keep you up at night?
It didn't keep me up.
Did you wake up and think you saw something creepy?
I did think like Emily Rose was laying next to my bed.
On the floor?
So I like picked my feet up. And I didn't want to really look over there, but it was fine. It passed after a few minutes.
I heard that
What?
you woke up during The Conjuring.
Oh my God. I don't know who had The Conjuring playing on the TV, and for some reason I woke up. Thank fucking God I didn't look at the clock. If I would have looked at the clock and it was 3 a.m., I would have just jumped out the window then. But I woke up and there's this lady just screaming, and I'm not gonna replicate the scream here. It was scary. It was scary stuff, and I couldn't find the remote to turn it off. It was even scarier. Oh my god,
That's good stuff.
that was rough. I don't know about good stuff.
Oh my god.
You know what? One thing I found weird about this film was hold on, I wrote his name down. James Van Hopper. That was her previous trial, the guy she had previously let.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what was up with that?
Was he real?
I don't know.
Look him up. Yeah, I'm not sure. That kept coming up, didn't it?
Yeah.
I guess it was. They didn't really give us enough context to tell us, I guess, who that was. We did hear that he actually did commit the crimes, but he had, the case was already finalized and they rendered him not guilty, I guess, or right?
The way I understood it was that he committed a crime, she got him freed, and then he committed basically another
he committed
crime,
another crime.
and then
okay.
I think that's
that would
what
make
happened.
more sense. Okay. I wasn't too sure about that.
But I'm not sure like what we were supposed to get out of that the priest is guilty. What?
Yeah, because it was a little. That's actually a really good point from a filmmaking standpoint.
Thank you.
Because that would imply, like, letting us in on that would imply we're supposed to be questioning her,
like her ethics of who she's trying to protect. Is she just like a hungry kind of lawyer?
Yeah,
blood sucking. But
that's not. It's just kind of it kind of not contradict, but it kind of butts heads with what the movie's actually about from the audience perspective, because the audience's perspective is pretty much strictly Emily Rose's story and it going through the ringer of a court system.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really have anything to do with Aaron.
Yeah.
It is kind of weird because we're forced, by the end of it at least, to side with the priest because we see that final showdown with the demons and everything, and from a viewer's perspective, it's kind of settled that, and then they deliver on that. He's in quotes guilty, but no served time. They give us some payoff for the priests to let him off easy or whatever, because we know, I guess if they if they cuffed him, that would have been we would have been like, what the fuck? Like,
which I would have liked that.
That would have been cool.
I was a bit confused about the ending of, not confused, I know what happened. I was just internally confused on what I wanted to happen.
Yeah, because based off of the factual or the empirical kind of evidence that we're getting from the other side, the opposed side, which is much stronger, he should have just served time. Like, it should have been a slam dunk.
They should have arrested his ass.
Yeah, and they did. They still won because he's guilty, but at the end of the day, this is up to the jury. It has little to do with the judge. So you're not really testing people who are scholars of any sense of ethics or justice. They're regular ass people.
That's true.
Right? So we're like, okay, yeah, the empirical, statistical, psychological data maybe implies that she is probably X, Y, and Z, but we can see that the priest is not a danger to society, which is the point of prison, to correct dangers to society.
Yeah.
They're correctional facilities, right?
Yep.
He's obviously not a threat. So he's guilty, yes, but he's also not a problem. So there's really no reason. He's not going to take anything away from prison. Prison is not a place to punish your ass, per se. It's to kind of take something away from it.
Yeah, I guess. And he also got banned from the church. And that's probably what he would have wanted to keep.
He was banned, or did he kind of take that? He exiled himself.
I don't think he exiled himself. I don't know if he was banned, if they used the word banned, but I think he's not allowed to go back.
Okay.
Can you be a priest if you've been convicted?
Oh, absolutely.
You can?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Holy crap. Didn't know that.
No. Yeah. Priesthood and God is, completely separate from law. He said
That's why they should arrest his ass.
He had a really good quote at the end there.
What'd he say?
I can't remember what he said exactly, but he said something like he was up for parole. I don't think he said it. I think it was the part of the written in part where he was able to appeal the rendering.
His verdict,
His verdict. He was able to appeal the verdict, but he said something like, man cannot give the judgment that I deserve or something, or need, or... I can't... What do you fucking say? He was at the end there.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but I don't remember. Like, he tried to... Or they asked him if he wanted to appeal, or he could appeal, but he was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I was pretty whelmed by this movie.
You were whelmed, overwhelmed, underwhelmed, just whelmed. I like that. I don't know if I liked how there were... I don't know if it's natural light or what. I can't tell these things yet. But... when she kept waking up at 3 a.m. and everything was just kind of dark and you would only be able to see like her pillow. You wouldn't see the rest of the room, just her pillow. Or when she was in the kitchen, you couldn't really see much except just the fridge or where she would set down the cup. And sometimes in other horror films, you can kind of see the whole room, even though it's supposed to be dark. So, I want to say that's an older thing in movies. I don't know how I felt about it.
You liked seeing more of the room?
I like seeing more of the room because that's where you can insert the creepy face, or you can insert the, upside down cross, or that little spider that's across the room that gives you that extra creepy feeling, or you see the vent being pulled, like whatever. And here that's just up to your imagination on what is in there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Is it a preference thing? Is it in the mood thing? I'm not sure.
Yeah, they really allocated the creepiness, like at least in retrospect, they really allocated the creepiness to Emily Rose. It really didn't get creepy with anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Like it teased you a little bit, and then it never climaxed in any way.
Yep.
Which is kind of fun, because that subverting expectations kind of thing is, I don't know, it's overdone, I guess, today, but it's I mean, I think it's still fun when you can actually trick someone, and I think it's easier probably to trick people in horror because you expect to be spooked, and when you're not as spooked as much as you might like to, I don't know, then it's all of a sudden like maybe not an effective horror movie for you because maybe you want to be spooked.
Yeah, maybe this isn't a spooky movie. Do you know what rating this is?
I would guess 13. PG-13.
Well, that would make sense. Although, I wouldn't watch this if I was 13. Just saying.
If I type in rating, what's going to pop up? Yeah, exactly what you would think.
What?
Reviews.
Oh.
It's PG-13 though. I see on Rotten Tomatoes. What did you expect?
I don't know. That's why I said what.
Well, thank you for watching this movie with me. It was our first fan-requested film. Let's get a round of applause. I wonder what our next one will be.
Our next fan requested?
Yeah. Well, thank you for watching this film with me.
Thank you for watching this film with me. Thank you for staying after it was over.
So you didn't see any spooky stuff.
So I didn't cry. Yeah, I mean, not the spookiest movie, but definitely had some parts that made me spooked.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Filmistines. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey. We hope you enjoyed our discussion and gained some new insights and perspectives on the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon. The $1, $5, $20 level. That's what will get you your movie on here if you subscribe to the $20 level. And then write in on there. You gotta send me a PM, DM, PM, private message?
DM,
through
direct message.
Direct message on Patreon. and we'll watch your movie, whatever it is. And don't forget to come follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, or movie recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching and keep loving the magic of movies. This is the Filmistines signing off.